Welcome back, Shalloners. Oh yeah, it's the topic y'all been waiting for. An update on Harry and Meghan, because things have drastically changed in their life. And I hate to say I told you so. Lies, I love to say I told you so. But I told you so. I called this from the beginning. I will break down exactly why her behavior as of late, and his too, let's not throw him out. No, he is part of this too. Why it indicates that their motives for distancing from Harry's family are not as pure as they made it seem. But more importantly, why I think coronavirus is going to spell divorce for these two. Because I think Meghan has made a grave miscalculation in terms of her control over Harry. We're going to break it down, but just first I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram at shallonxo for some daily inspiration, and I also let you vote on the next video topic. You guys weighed in on this a lot, got a lot of DMs about it. Also, if you want a little video shout out for any of your friends, if someone's having a birthday, you just need a little pep talk, find me on Cameo at shallonxo, ditto on TikTok where I give you some daily inspiration there as well. No dancing, I promise. But also, before we get started, this is a time of like great stress, and we just did a video on how to keep from murdering your boyfriend or girlfriend if you're in quarantine. And one thing I was talking about that's very important is having like your alone time to go into like your mind palace, listen to your music, watch your shows like on your own, listen to your podcast. And something I got recently has helped immensely with that. Oh yeah. These super cool earbuds. These are by Raycon. Raycon's a company founded by Ray J, who like I've always had a big crush on, mostly because I want to get to Brandy. I'm obsessed with Brandy. Those vocals, they never get old. But I have been wearing the Apple, things. I don't like them. They fall out constantly. You can't lay down with them. And I travel a lot. Well, I used to travel a lot. We all used to like go out and be with others. And so it was hard for me to be on a plane and like lay down or just like even rest my head against anything with the AirPods in. I love these because they really lie flat and they're super cute. Look at this. Isn't this neat? And they say like left or right. Even just having them in when I was filming that intro was like, it was hard because I couldn't hear myself talk because they drown out the noise so well. I sound like I'm underwater right now, like with these in. So they also function really well as just plain old earplugs. And listen, to get through this quarantine, we need our own private time, and having something like this to put in where you can truly just like melt out the rest of the world and be in your own little bubble is so helpful. Plus they're like half the price of, other high-end things, and which is good because not only do they not fall out. Is there anything worse than losing an AirPod? Nothing. There is no injustice that befalls human beings worse than losing AirPods you just bought. These don't do that. They stay in great. They have amazing bass, amazing sound quality, and they come in like a bunch of colors and patterns, which is really fun. So if you go to buyraycon.com/shallonxo, you get 15% off, and it's a nice little treat that isn't going to break the bank, but it is going to give you a lot of peace of mind. Or you could get these for a family member who hasn't quite gotten the concept of earbuds when they're listening to that Bollywood movie on full volume at 11 at night. Maybe they haven't gotten that memo. Now you can get the memo for them. And they come in a cute little case. I love it. Who I don't love? Meghan and Harry. Let's talk about it. Let's break this all down. So here's where we last heard from them, right? It was, we're getting away from Harry's toxic family and the toxicity of the monarchy, and we don't want to do this anymore. We just want to live low-key, regular lives, right? That was what we heard from Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry. And this was a very galvanizing statement. People were either like, she full of shit, or people were like, you know what, good for them. And I thought a mixture of these two things. And I told you guys, it is going to be very telling where these two end up. If they stay in Canada, I'll be like, you know what? They're right. They really do just want a low-key life, a life of sanity and dignity that God knows you can't find in America anymore. We're a mess. But if they end up moving to like, I don't know, Los Angeles, she's full of shit. And I have always, well, not always, but Meghan revealed herself, and I since, switched my opinion of her in that she is basically full of shit. I have a very low opinion of Meghan Markle, and it's sad because I started out loving her. Like, she's so beautiful, and she's like shaking everything up. She's divorcee, she's biracial, she's doing things her way. And then I realized what a manipulator she was, and how her goal was to, this is what fucks me up about her. I don't understand what her goal is. She wanted to be a princess. Okay, I get that goal. We all all right. But she then seemed to want to yank Harry away from his family To what end? To what end? Maybe she didn't have that as her initial goal. And maybe she got into the princess life and realized the thing that any thinking person would realize about being a monarch if they spent 5 minutes thinking about it. It sucks. I truly can't imagine anything worse than being a princess. Do you know why? 2 words. Small talk. The endless, repetitive small talk. Oh, is that macaroni art? Oh, is it me? That's how they... Oh, homemade jam. Oh, that's great. That's cool. The community center that you guys put. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And oh, there's a really pretty bird outside. Okay. I couldn't do it. And it's like it's all of the drudgery of being a celebrity, the glad handing, oh, hi, how are you? But none of like the fun. You don't get to like host parties at Lavo. You don't get to go to the Rolex gifting suite. Like it is just the drudgery. Do you know why? Because royals are public servants. That's what the royalty is, the modern royalty. You're not actually making any decisions. Like, you are a public servant. You got to serve. You got to glad hand. You got to go to that ribbon cutting, this war memorial. It's going to be boring. And it's like Meghan didn't think about this. She was a dog chasing a car, What am I going to do if I actually catch it? And she caught Harry. And then I feel like she's almost like Trump, where she ran for office. And it's like, I want to be president. It's like, do you know what that actually entails? Being president sounds awful. It sounds boring and difficult and depressing and stressful, which I think is exactly what Donald Trump has found it. It's just like, I don't want to do this. Boring. Bye, me. And I get that sense from Meghan. And to me, it has revealed her innate narcissism. You watch her at these charity functions. I've done a lot of research on this. You watch her at these things where she's talking to like mothers with children who are handicapped, elephants that have been poached, situations and stories that would stir up emotion in anyone. And she looks fucking bored. She could not be bothered. She's also not a great actress at the end of the day. Are you, boo? No, I can see right through you. And here's the criticism of my criticism, or of any sort of criticism towards Meghan Markle. You're being racist. I don't give a shit what race this baby girl is. I love that she was biracial. That was like awesome. Hey, like let's get some new blood in the monarchy. And I agree for sure that the way the press, certain publications and certain articles have spoken about her is racist, But I also agree that you can be sucky and be black. Like those 2 things can go hand in hand. You can be an asshole in a wheelchair. You can be a very annoying Native American. You can be a dumb white chick. I mean, obviously I know that. So both of those things can be true. People can be speaking about her unfairly with a racial bias, but she can also be not an amazing person. And that's my criticism of her. She is a woman who took a man away from his family through her own manipulation and machinations. And the other criticism is, well, his family sucks and he needs to get away from him. That should be his choice. His choice and his choice alone, independently of his woman. We've all been in relationships where we have had to be the bad guy. We've had to stand up to his overbearing mom. We've had to be the one to put his like chauvinistic brother in his place. And it's like, was that a fun role for us? No. Is that something we wanted to get blamed for? No. But some of us were really trying to drive that wedge. And I see that in Meghan. And we have also talked about how she seduced him. She honed in on Harry's shadow self, right? She was in his ear, Markle sparkling him and being like, you're the true king. You don't need any of them. You're no one's puppet. You're a man all on your own. Look at everything you've accomplished. Look at everything you have to give to the world. Step away from them and towards me, the only person who sees that in you. And that's a very powerful thing for a man who grew up with not a strong mom. I mean, he had a strong mom, but I mean, not a strong female presence in his life, God, what a tragedy. That it was like a grip around his throat in that good, sexy way, So away he went. But I am done apologizing for Harry. I'm done feeling sorry for him. He is a grown-ass man. He could have gotten some therapy instead of a wife, and he could have made himself a little bit more bulletproof to this kind of stuff. Because here's what happened. Everything worked out exactly the way she wanted. She wanted the fame of being a princess and the imperviousness, like just the perfect glittering life, but with all the benefits of being a Hollywood star. She wanted the money. She wanted the money. And that's why they didn't exactly decide to stay in Canada, right? Here they are in LA. Here she is doing voiceovers for the Disney film Elephants, which actually looks adorable. I will give her that. But like, this is all working out. This is all part of the Markle plan to dip out of Hollywood, go get that princess clout, and then come riding back into Hollywood at the top of the food chain. I don't think this is how it's going to go for her. But you know what? I'll just say I don't think she's going to find a lot of success in Hollywood. But whatever, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how coronavirus is going to spell the end of their relationship. Do you know what Harry's identity was before it was Meghan? The military. His military service was the thing he was proudest of. I always say I was in ROTC, and it is the thing that I have done in my life, one of the things that I am most proud of. And I was not even actually in the military. I was like cosplaying as, you know, in like a glorified Boy Scout troop with Army ROTC, but still the feeling of pride it gave to me. And I really think it has an effect on people who've lost a parent. Like, I think it gives us that sense of self-parentage that, you know, was partially missing from our lives. And I think it gave him such a sense of, I have personal power. I'm not the heir and the spare. I'm not, is he really Charles's son? I don't think so. It's, look at what I'm doing. I am leading a troop. I am helping people. I am accountable. My life is in his hands. His life is in mine. And when he left the throne, when he left the royal family, and obviously when he left England, he left behind the military. And he left behind his identity. And we talk all the time about relationships like this, where you cannot put your entire identity into somebody, because if they leave, they take you with them. They take your soul out of your body, off into the sunset. You ain't getting it back. And that makes us make very bad choices in the relationship. It makes us put up with a whole bunch of bullshit, sometimes abuse, general toxicity and grossness, because you're like, I can't lose them. I'm going to lose me too, right? And that, I believe, is where Harry is at. And when you realize that, when you realize I have nothing left but her, then comes resentment. It's inevitable. They walk hand in hand, isolation and resentment. I gave everything up for you. Look what I've done for you. Don't ever tell me I load the dishwasher wrong. Look what I gave up for you. It permeates all of your arguments, all of the way you feel about someone, because you feel worse than how you felt before. You thought you were alone before. Oh no, now you're really alone. Now you're really isolated. And what is isolation? What do we always say? Isolation is the hallmark of abuse. It is the cornerstone. The first thing an abuser wants to do is get their victim alone. Whether they're just going to take him out in a field and shoot him, or whether they're going to spend 5 years gaslighting them and removing them from their family so that they have complete opinion control over them. You're going to leave, where are you going to go? Your mama? Oh no, you called her a bitch 2 years ago. She's not speaking to you. Your sisters? She doesn't want anything to do with you. What friends? You become real malleable then, right? And again, that resentment starts to fester. And the self-resentment starts to fester, right? How did I let this happen? Is she really worth it? And if let's say we're in the Meghan position, because a lot of us have been, where through our own machinations or not, a man has pulled away from his family and plugged into us. I was in a very long-term relationship like that, where I was constantly defending him against his family and like urging him to like get into some therapy, get some healthy boundaries and stuff. And so I became his everything. And it was like, ugh, like I didn't love it. It was just such a burden for me to bear. So let's say Meghan had no nefarious intention, no machinations at all. Okay. This is still this would be a heavy cross for her to bear. You want to marry into a family. Very few of us want to pull someone away from their support network and have complete control of them. With great power comes great responsibility, right? But absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I believe I believe she's a morally corrupt person for removing this man from a family. Imperfect though it was still his. It was still his family. I don't think she has any particular ties to her family. Like, where's her mom been lately? She only trotted that woman out when she needed the PR before the wedding. Like, where's she with the baby? It's all just very sus. But there's another aspect of this, the Corona aspect, right? Because that's what we initially started talking about. I think Corona is going to absolutely be the nail in their coffin because Prince Charles has Corona. Now he's out of isolation. I don't understand how he's out of isolation after only a week. That's weird to me. Okay, we're just gonna set that aside. Do the royals know something we don't? No. Spoiler alert, they don't. But imagine you are on the other side of the world. You hear your father has a potentially deadly virus that's killing disproportionately men. And your father lives with your 98-year-old grandmother, the Queen of England. She will never die. She will outlive us all. I don't know what kind of deal she made, but she's never gonna die. I hope she's a beast and a legend. And you can't go back there, right? You can't go back because maybe how you left things. You can't go back because your wife is like, don't go, it's me and the baby. If that was me, I don't care what had gone down with my family, and I don't care how much I loved my partner. If my parent, my only parent, if I'd already gone through losing a parent, which I have, and then I saw the very real possibility of losing the only one I had left, I would look at my partner and be like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? What are you? How dare you tell me not to be there for these people? How dare you use that baby as a pawn? There would not be a lot of coming back from that. I would see everything so clearly. I would see the move to LA. I would see the fights and the gossip and the PR people Meghan has been hiring. She's been doing this, hiring PR people to write about her constantly. I would acknowledge that, oh yeah, it was Meghan who leaked to the press that William had affairs so that she could put Kate in her place and not make that bitch quite so uppity. This is all stuff Meghan has done, right? This is all stuff Meghan has done. And another thing that Meghan has done, which you guys might not have heard yet, is this bullshit with their Instagram. If you go on their Instagram, Sussex Royal, it's, we're taking a little break. When nobody expected that. They're like, oh, they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to have all these projects and initiatives and charities. No, boo. You know why they're taking a break from Instagram? Because they're trying to get all of their 11 million subscriber or followers ported over to a new Instagram account that they own. The Palace owns Sussex Royal. They're not just going to let them have it. It's not like, oh, we can just change the name. The Palace is like, no, that belongs to us. That account, those followers, they're ours. You wanted to leave, you leave your shit with you. Like, you leave it here. You don't get to take that with you. And Meghan and Harry have been behind the scenes trying to beg to Instagram. It's like, well, if we start a new account, just move all our followers over there. And they're like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that anymore. And they're like, but we're special. That's literally what Meghan has been saying. But we're exceptional. We're special. You actually aren't. You're a public servant. You're not Marie Antoinette. You have no power. You're a figurehead. If that. First of all, you're a duchess. You're not even a princess. You're a duchess. And you're like below other people in line. You're not even like duchess number one in the chain of command. So you're not that special. If they won't do it for like Kylie Jenner, they're not going to do it for you. 11 million. So she's behind the scenes trying to pull some strings to get all of those followers ported over. Once again, I want you to pause and imagine that you are at 5,000 miles from your home, your friends, your family, everything you have ever known. You're in like Canada, which is lovely. Canada's lovely. But you don't know anybody. You're just like in Vancouver or something. Like, with whom? Doing what? Your father is, very possibly going to die from a virus that's sweeping the world that there's no known cure for. And your wife is like, but our Instagram. My head would explode. I don't care how many of my kids she given birth to. I'd be like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Like I said, I'd see the writing on the wall in a really, really big way. And the things that I would have normally used as a touchstone in my own identity and autonomy, the military, my friends, my charities, gone. All that's gone. All for you.
all for you. Babe, only I understand you. Only I support you. Okay, well, here I am in my time of emotional need, worried about a parent, and you're worried about Instagram. So do you have my back or not? I imagine this must be an incredibly lonely and isolating time for Prince Harry, and I do feel sorry for him. He got taken in by a con man. She is nothing more than an emotional con man. That's how I see her. She just has this grin on her face like, I got away with it. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I was rooting for them. I was rooting for you. This is like my Tyra moment. But I was rooting for them when they first met. I was like, you know what? Yeah. Harry's just not marrying that like lank blonde girl, you know, the royalty would expect. So I'm like, so should I don't know. My name's Claire. I've got a flat ass. Just not her. I was delighted. And it's like, wow, he married someone so much worse. So much worse. You know, she took away his family. She took away his military career. And look, he's not like a blameless victim. He is a grown man, but he got Markle sparkled. He got bamboozled by her. And I feel like she preyed on the weakest, most vulnerable part of him, was his need to be seen and understood and loved. And that is the weakest and most vulnerable part of us all. And the way we Markle-proof ourselves is to be aware of our shadow self. What is the greatest compliment you've ever received? When people have wheedled you and manipulated you, look back. How did they do it? What emotion did they appeal to? What fear did they appeal to? What dream did they sell you, right? And I think if Prince Harry would ask himself those questions and get into some therapy. Dr. Phil ain't doing much these days. Y'all both in LA. Go on, knock on the door. Knock on the door. I think he would have a shot of either fixing his relationship with Meghan and making it something that's fair and balanced and healthy, if she is possible, or if she's capable of that at all. Quite frankly, I don't think so. I've told you guys before that I know many, many people that have worked with her, from people that don't know each other. This isn't a hive mind conspiracy, and they describe her using one word: user. If she can't get something from you, you don't fucking exist. And she can't even be bothered to pretend to be polite. It's like, who are you? Nope, next. And someone said it right. They're like, she never belonged in a palace. She always belonged in LA, because LA is full of those people. So she is like the swallows returning home to Capistrano. Like, she is caught in the tractor beam of LA. She has to be around other users and other parasitic people, because that's simply who she is. And that sucks. That really, really sucks. It sucks for everyone. It sucks for Harry. It sucks for Prince Charles. It just sucks for everyone. Like, there's a fractured family, and it's hard to put all those things, it's hard to put those pieces back together once they're disrupted. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Honestly, I give it maybe a year until there's rumors of like living in separate houses, and, oh, well, she's out here working on this project and he's in Africa doing this, and blah. This is, once the writing's on the wall, it's just a matter of him deciding to read it. I want to know what you guys think about these two. If you also said I told you so when it came out that they were moving to LA, not staying in Canada, to live a life of quiet dignity with a gorgeous hot leader like Justin Trudeau. And what do you think the future holds for them? We'll talk about it more. And like I said, if you want to pick up those earbuds, go to buyraycon.com/ShallonXO for 15% off.